Hi, and welcome to the CVAS News Up-to-Date. Today we are joined by Jenn Vanderau of the Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter. The Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter is currently in the process of finishing their new home near Letterkenny Army Depot. Now Jenn, could you tell us about the current shelter home and the need for relocation?
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually a photo of our backyard right now, and a few years ago when the train station expanded and an intermodal unit came in next door, we started wondering, are we really good neighbors here? And so the bigger this got and the more backyard we saw coming in like that, we thought, we may not be compatible.
Now the school district had some land available for you?
They did, actually. We were really excited about it. They donated more than 11 acres to us just outside, as you said, of Letterkenny Army Depot. And as you can see, it's gorgeous with trees, and it's going to be a really, really great spot for an animal shelter. And we're very excited about that. And we're definitely looking forward to that. And basically what had happened is we outgrew our needs. This is the current shelter as it stands right now, and it's decades old. And a lot of technology has come about in animal sheltering, in the world of animal sheltering. And so we actually have the building up at Letterkenny right now, and we're just getting ready to finish the interior, and it's a really exciting process that we have up, and it's going to be a great animal shelter, and we can't wait to get there.
So you have this new building. What differences will we see with this new building?
Oh, there's going to actually be a lot of differences, and I figure the best place to begin is at the beginning. So actually, currently, when you walk into the animal shelter that we have right now, our front office our front office girls, Sarah's going to kill me, and we have cats also in our front office. So it can get really frustrating because everything's all in one spot right now for the front office and for the cats. And so at our future home, however, all of this is just front office space. There's not going to be any cats in there, in theory, and we don't know what to do with ourselves because there's so much space now, and it's such a great difference.
Now you said the difference of the rooms. What else is going to be different for the animals?
Well, in addition to the different rooms, we're actually going to have cages are going to be different. As you can see, this is current cat adoption in our current shelter, and all the cages, as you can see there, are open. So it's really tough sometimes for disease control to maintain diseases because once one cat sneezes, this cat sneezes, the next cat will catch it, and the next cat will sneeze. But at the new shelter, at the future shelter, we're going to have a lot more room, and as you can see, huge amounts of space. This is just cat adoption alone right there. So a lot of space for cats, and also a different setup for the cages as well, which is going to help us reduce disease control. It would definitely reduce disease for sure. Currently our cages are like this. They're bars, and kitty's cute, and they're a little bar, and so they can see through, they can sneeze through, they can so they can. It's a little bit difficult for us to keep them healthy. But at the future home, the cages are actually going to be a little bit different. You're still going to be able to see them, but there's actually plexiglass. This picture doesn't really show you. There's a door open right there, and it's actually going to be plexiglass, so you can see through it, and they can breathe through it because there's going to be openings there. But it's not going to be nearly as open, and there's going to be really great ventilation for the cats too. And believe me, cats, upper respiratory, it goes through animal shelters like crazy, like wildfire. So it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to get there.
Now you offer a wide variety of animals, including dogs. What's new with them?
A lot, actually. This is the picture currently of our dog adoption, and you can see it's outdated. It's wire cages, and it's all wide open, and they can see each other, and that makes it actually really stressful for the dogs because the more that they get excited and the more that they're encaged when that happens, the stress level goes up for them. At the new shelter, we have a completely different way of doing the dog kennels. One, they're different sizes. We have small, medium, and large to accommodate obviously different sized dogs, and they're made differently. They're a little different actually in the way that they're constructed. Currently, as you can see, all wire, all wide open. So the dogs can see people coming by, people coming in. They can see other dogs getting walked, and that again gets stressful for them because they think, I want to go too, why am I not going? And then when they're confined in that cage, it's tough for them. At the future shelter, however, we're actually going to have Dutch doors, and the dog cages are actually going to be able to close on top here, but as you can see, the dogs will be able to kind of get up and see who's going by, but below, the window below is actually what I call etched glass. You can see maybe light through it, obviously, but you can't see actual figures, so if they're down in their kennel, they don't know who's getting walked, they don't really know who's going by, and the neatest thing is, visitors are going to be able to pet them and touch them and actually reach in and say hi to them without having to go through wires. So it's going to be neat.
Now, is that the only way visitors can interact with the pets?
Oh, actually, no. Currently, we do have a bonding room, which is where people go to bond with the pets. And basically, they take animals into our bonding room, cats and dogs, into the one room that we have. And they see if they're compatible with the dog. They see how the dog behaves. They see how the dog or cat interacts with them. And they see if it'll be a good match for their family. But at the new shelter, we're actually going to have 4 bonding rooms. As you can see, this is one. I mean, just the size alone of one is way, way, way different than what we currently have. And to have 4 of them is going to be really phenomenal, because currently we actually have people on the weekends waiting for a bonding room because they're like, is it open yet? Is it open yet? But here we're going to have 4 different ones. So that's just going to make the process that much more efficient, that we can have even more people looking and spending time with our animals.
All right. I understand you have holding areas you just talked about. You have quarantine and all that stuff. At the future shelter, this is going to be a separate area from the adoption?
Yes, absolutely, and that's going to be fantastic. This is our current isolation area, and it's literally right next to our adoption kennels. And so what ends up happening is the dogs will actually be able to come in contact with dogs that come in that might be sick. When an animal comes to us, we have no idea, especially if it's a stray, what the dog might have disease-wise, what the dog may have been exposed to. And so what's really frustrating is our current isolation kennels, when they go outside to eat, they actually are just separated by nothing but wire. So they can go nose to nose to the dog next to them, nose to nose to the dog next to them, and that can spread all the way through our adoption kennels, which is so incredibly frustrating to me. But at the future shelter, completely separate rooms. The isolation looks exactly like the adoption kennels, but it's in a totally separate part of the building, which means, in theory, there the twain shall meet. And so the animals that come into us actually go right into the isolation area, and they don't go to adoption until they're actually ready for adoption. And so that alone really should reduce the disease problem that we have.
What about the area where the animals will be treated?
Yes. Look at this. This is so sad. This is our current shelter. This is our treatment room, our grooming room, and our behavior assessment room, which means we check over the dogs, we treat them, we give them medication, we groom them. If dogs come in, certain like Shih Tzus and Cocker Spaniels, they need grooming. And if they come to us without being groomed, we need to groom them. We do that in there too. And we also assess their behavior. We give them a temperament test to see how they'll behave, in different situations. All of that takes place in this one little room. However, at the future shelter, there are actually 3 different areas. We're not going to know what to do with ourselves. The space, the increase in space is just, oh my word. Not only are we not going to know what to do with ourselves, it's going to be better for them. We have a separate grooming room, a separate treatment room, and a separate behavior assessment room. And the behavior assessment room is wicked cool because it actually has a 2-way mirror in it. And so what we're going to do is put a dog into the one room. We, the people, are going to go into the other room and watch what that dog does by himself in the room. Is he jumping on a couch? Is he getting in the garbage? What's he doing? Is he just lying down? That type of thing. And it'll give us a good idea of what this dog's going to be like in a home situation. And the greatest thing is we actually have a new program that we're going to put in place called Meet Your Match. Once we get all this information about the dog, which we'll be able to get so much more than we do right now, we're going to color code it. And so we're going to put a color on the dog's kennel. And when people come in to adopt, they're going to fill out a little survey. They're going to get a color. It's kind of like a Cosmo quiz. And then you go back to the dog kennel and you find the color on the dog that matches the color that you got. And so the idea here is to find the right dog for the right family so that dog will stay there forever, because that's what we want to do.
Right. Now all animals have to get fed. How are the new shelters that improve how the animals are fed and whatnot?
Okay, how sad is this? This is actually our food preparation area. It's a hallway. It is a hallway that goes back to our isolation. We have a dishwasher and a sink and some cupboards, and that's it. And that is for cats, that's for dogs, that's for, pretty much every animal that comes in here, that's the dishwasher for them. So the fact that at the future shelter, we have at least 2 separate food preparation areas, one for adoption and one for isolation, is, I know I keep saying phenomenal and wicked cool, but it's phenomenal and wicked cool. And so the other great thing too, as far as disease control, is that having 2 separate food preparation rooms means that we could have 2 completely separate dishes, 2 completely separate sets of dishes for dogs and cats in adoption versus dogs and cats in our isolation area, which again, gonna cut down on the disease. So I don't know what to do. I'm literally chomping at the bit to get there.
Now, I understand that all animals available for adoption are spayed and neutered. How will the new shelter help improve this and offer this service?
Yes, I'm very proud of the fact that all of our animals are spayed and neutered before they're put up for adoption in this really kind of sad room, because it's obviously also a storage room, and it is where the animals are spayed and neutered. At the future shelter, however, we are doubling the size. It is actually a double surgery suite. So you saw the surgery table in the current shelter. We're going to have 2 surgery tables in this room, so that in theory you can actually have 2 surgeries going on at one time. And so the efficiency is going to be absolutely through the roof, and the fact that we're going to be able to get them done faster and quicker, and better and safer for them, it means that it's going to ultimately be better for them. And so our animals that are go up for adoption will already be spayed and neutered. I'm very, very proud of that.
Now, the new shelter is also eco-friendly. What does that mean for the shelter and the community?
Okay, this is, again, wicked cool. So our new shelter is environmentally friendly, and basically what that means is, number one, we've got skylights. And I know you've been out there, and I know the people that have been out there, when they walk in the door, they honestly think we have lights on. They think, oh, look, they've already got the power set up. It's completely from these skylights. So it's natural lighting, and it's absolutely amazing to me that we are able to light the place the way we are with the skylights, because like I said, there's no electricity in the place, but yet even on a cloudy day, it's really, really bright. We are going to reuse rainwater we're going to actually collect rainwater and reuse that to clean our kennels. And so we're going to have solar heating to heat that. And I don't know what to say, but that's really, really exciting to me too. I want to do a shout out to the Franklin County Career and Technology kids, because they actually helped us refurbish our outbuilding, and that's where the solar panels are going to be held and going to be kept for the solar heating. And we actually got a grant to do all of this. And in order to do all of this, we needed to have 2 rooms be completed. And so we actually do have the front 2 rooms completed, and we're in the process of that actually. And once we do that, we will have an occupancy permit, which means we can have meetings out there, and we can have all kinds of stuff going on out there at that shelter. And we had a painting party. This was the most fun. Look, oh, these are board members too. They're going to kill me. We actually had groups of volunteers come out to paint those 2 rooms for us, and so they're basically ready to go. It's a bathroom, and it's our front room. And so we can have meetings out there and everything, but it also gets us an occupancy permit to get that grant for those solar panels. So we're really moving forward with this. And the bottom line to this shelter is longevity. When the whole situation first came down, I said to folks, guys, if we're just going to take the current shelter that we're in and move it out to Letterkenny, why bother doing this? Because we know that there have been advances made. We know that technology has brought us to different levels with animal sheltering, and so that's what we've got there with this building. It's environmentally friendly. It's not going to impact the environment too terribly much. We're going to be there a while. I mean, we're putting the proper flooring down. We've got adequate ventilation. And the idea is, and I honestly believe we're going to do this, I think it's going to cost us less to run the future shelter than it does to run the one we're currently in. Conservative estimates right now are $17,000 in savings every year. That's conservative. So I honestly think it's going to be way more than that once we're actually out there, just in the lighting and the water alone that we're going to be saving. So I'm really excited about this. It's about longevity. It's about being there. That thing is going to outlast me. You know what I mean? I'm going to be with a walker. You know what I mean? And that building's still going to be there functioning. And that's the reason that we put it together the way that we did, is to have that there for the community for a long, long time. So I'm really excited, and this is the final push to get out there, to finish the interior. If folks haven't helped us, now's the time to please help us, and we really want to make it, and we really want this to be a place where that the community can be proud of.